Hey YouTube, Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you. And today I have my first impressions on the CRKT Hi Jinx, the budget version of the Hi Jinx. And this will be the first of a few first impression videos that I want to get to over the next week or so. So be expecting a few more videos along these lines in the next little while. Now, this knife in particular, as probably most of you know, is not a new design for CRKT, but a new version. So this knife, the Hi Jinx, originally was released as a high-end titanium frame lock designed by Ken Onion and built by Lion Steel for CRKT. This, of course, is that knife, but in a very budget-friendly offering. And I actually really like the way this is translated. And I can see this being a fairly popular model for CRKT. I think they've done a good job. And probably I would say I like this version a little better than even I like the original. Let's get to the size and weight first, and then I'll kind of go through the features and stuff like that, and then give you my overall take. So size and weight on this, it's 8 inches overall. The blade length is 3 1/4 if measured there, but obviously, as you can see, the blade does extend past the handle a little bit, giving you 3 1/2 inches of cutting edge. Handle length on this is 4 3/4, so when it's closed in the pocket, that's what you're dealing with. It's about 1/2 inch thick, actually almost exactly 1/2 inch thick. Weighs in at 4.8 ounces, which is a little hefty for a knife of this size, but I think that can be explained by the fact that you've got those full nested stainless steel liners, not milled out in any way to save weight. Not the end of the world. As I've said many, many times, anything between 4 and 5 ounces is pretty comfortable to carry as far as I'm concerned. Some of you may feel differently, but for me, that's not a big deal. Let's move into some of the features now. The blade here, of course, is the very Ken Onion looking drop point, very sweeping lines on this guy. Considerably thinner, of course, than the blade stock on the original, making this a pretty nice slicing blade. It's a flat ground, partial flat ground blade. 8CR13 MOV steel, which is, par for the course at this price point. And so no big complaints or surprises out of that blade. Obviously, I'll have more to say about its cutting performance when I get to the full review. It is a bearing knife here, so IKBS bearings, which do function pretty nicely. I'll see if I can demonstrate that for you. Got a little blood blister there, so yeah, it does. It's not comfortable for me to flip right now, just because I pinched my finger doing some plumbing over the weekend. But yeah, it does deploy nicely, and CRKT IKBS bearings are pretty well done, generally speaking. All right, handle material is GFN, which is a little disappointing, although I will say the contouring was probably why they made that choice. And I do like the fact that they nested the liners in there rather than just going with sort of the sandwich construction that we're used to seeing in knives at this price point. So a bit of plus and minus on the handle construction and handle materials. One thing I'm a little more disappointed about is the back spacer, GFN as well. Would have been nice to see standoff construction, but no one asked me, so that's what we've got. It does share the same sort of indentation that was on the original, which is kind of a nice touch. Decorative pivot here that is kind of borrowed from the original design, no big departure there. Obviously the difference is being a liner lock. This does not need the over travel stop that was incorporated into the pivot on the original design. Reversible deep carry clip, you can see on this side there's a filler tab, which is again a pretty nice touch. And the deep carry clip, I've only had this for a couple of days, but I have pocketed it a couple of times and it seems to work just fine. So yeah, overall impressions, there are a few things that I think are really nicely done here. I especially appreciate the nested liners. I appreciate the insert there, and I appreciate the IKBS. The thinner blade, I suspect, will perform really, really nicely for your average EDC task. And that's where I think, in terms of an overall impression, this knife really lands very well in the role of a pretty well put together EDC knife. There are a couple little things lacking that we could complain about, but I think for the average person just wanting a decent knife to have in their pocket, this is going to definitely fit the bill. And so if that's what you're looking for, I think you'll be fine. Obviously, I'll have more to say about a number of the details and features and how things work over time when I get to the full review. So if you want to make sure you catch that, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you soon.